Hi, my name is Mikey James. People have been like dropping out and filling in and shifting around, so now I'm doing Saturday of About the Boys. You guys are talking about clothing, and that's awesome because I really like clothing. So you're not going to be able to shut me up, and this is going to go on forever. Hooray! So the topic is clothing and if we've changed our fashion throughout transition. I'm coming from kind of a unique position because I don't know how long most of the guys, sorry I haven't got my hair and it's bothering me. I don't know how long most of the guys here have been transitioned for, but I don't think it's quite as long as me. I've been living as a guy almost 4 years now. So although I didn't change my fashion to transition, it has changed throughout my transition. And you know, there was a time when I was a very small emo child, and then there was also a time where I thought it was socially acceptable to wear neon constantly. But let's not go into that because it was a bad time in my life, and it's a very unacceptable thing to do, and I would rather it lay dead with the ghosts of my other bad fashion. Jackie is dancing. Come guest star in my video. No? Okay. So although my fashion hasn't changed to transition's kind of stopped my fashion from evolving in a way that I would like it to. I'm a very neat person with my clothing. I like neat clothes, I like well put together outfits. And that's not really something I can do as a trans guy because there's some growths on my chest that stop me from fitting into a lot of the clothes that I like, especially male clothes. But I can give you some awesome passing tips that you can use without changing your fashion too much. Okay, so passing tips for newly transitioned trans guys without fucking with your clothing too much. Not Aiden has actually, I know I plug him all the time, but that's because he's awesome. He's actually done a really cool little passing thing for the effeminate trans man, which I wish I'd had when I was first transitioning, because I went through a very terrible phase of very terrible clothes. As I said, let it lay dead with the rest of my fashion ghosts. Jackie's going to guest star in my video.
I'll just sit here.
Just sit there. He's going to stand there and watch me burn.
I don't know if this is my water.
It's mine.
Well, I'm drinking it.
Okay. A lot of the time you would get advice like that everything should be baggy. That doesn't work for me personally. I'm a very, very small person. Like, I have hands like a child. And I probably weigh about 100 pounds. So wearing baggy clothing just kind of dwarfs me and makes me look like a bull dyke. One of the problems for me was that everyone seemed to think that I should be wearing baggy clothes, but really the only way I've ever been able to pass is in skinny jeans. I do recommend that you wear a packer in skinny jeans. I have just started doing that. It's very exciting. But I have gotten in altercations before with people that referenced my lack of a crotch bulge whilst we fought. That was fun. For bottoms, a lot of people are trying to reduce the look of their hips because, you know, people can have quite rounded hips. One of the cool things for drawing emphasis away from your hips can be to wear a pair of dark pants. So it doesn't really matter whether they're skinny jeans or they're baggy or they're cargo pants, you know. Wearing black or a muted grey can kind of draw attention away from the fact that some of us have more rounded shapes. For example, I have childbearing hips. Specifically, if you can bind well enough to pass, a top with a bright pattern on it, because you'll be drawing attention away from your hips. You're also going to be drawing attention away from the fact that there's something hidden under your shirt. So you want dark on the bottom, lighter on the top. Or I guess you could switch it around depending. If you're a guy that has a big chest that you want to hide, you could go with something darker, baggier. Just chilling with a sparkly top hat. I shouldn't be allowed to talk, ever.
I agree. I'm sure your parents do as well.
Once I made a video that was so long that my camera turned off, so clearly my camera was bored of me talking to. These are awesome. I wear them far too much. These are Doc Martens. I have the like proper made in England ones. A lot of the time you can get made in Thailand ones these days, which are still done by the Doc Marten brand, but they're not produced in England. If you can get the ones that are made in England, I would suggest that because they're much better quality and they're going to last you a century. I like Doc Martens because they can be formal or casual depending on how you wear them. Obviously mine are in a bit of a state of disrepair because I've been wearing them to abandoned buildings. But you know, there's something that you can polish up and you can wear them to make an outfit look more formal, or you can substitute them for trainers and just kind of look punk rock, which is cool because I'm not good with formal shoes, and also I don't like buying leather new. These were second hand, which is even more awesome for me. Which brings me to my next topic, and that's thrift stores. you should go to these. I don't know what people have in America. I know in Australia we have St. Vinny's, we have the Salvos, we also have a place called Good Sammy's, which is my personal favourite because A, they're very, very cheap. Like you can get a pair of jeans for like $4, which is awesome, you know, when you're just transitioning and you need to kind of replace your whole wardrobe. They also provide employment for people with physical and mental disabilities, which I think is another thing that's really awesome because, especially in Perth, which is quite a small town, that kind of thing is sorely lacking. So thrift stores are awesome. You can support people and you can also get really cheap shit. One of the things that can really, really help you when you're freshly transitioning is just replacing your wardrobe with the masculine equivalent. So, you know, staple pieces like a good pair of jeans, obviously you're not going to want to get rid of them. But shirts, for example, if you wear a lot of tailored shirts or button-downs, go for the male version. Female versions will have contouring. Remember to, And at the back. They'll have contouring to fit to a female body shape. If you're trying to hide your female body shape, that's not going to be very helpful. So try just replacing things. You know, a lot of stores, if you have the money to buy things new, will have a relatively similar male equivalent to the female one that you might already have. Also, thrift stores can be really, really good. I always recommend them for my newly transitioned friends. I always take people out to them because you can just build up a basic repertoire of, you know, a couple of pairs of pants, a couple of shirts that are male, so they're styled differently to female pieces. And so that automatically gives you a different feel. It can just also be kind of nice, like if you're starting a new point in your life, to have new things to wear. So I say go buy cheap shit. Glasses. We're going to take a field trip. So this is my humble abode, and as you can see, I have a ridiculous amount of sunglasses. These are not the manliest thing in the world, and I know that, but you'll notice that all of them have a straight top. If you can, there we go, all of them have a straight top. So if you can find glasses that fit you and that look good with your facial shape, they can be a really cool addition to passing that doesn't infringe on your personal fashion taste. I need these to see. I don't wear them anywhere near as much as I should. I know not all guys can just go out and get a prescription for some seeing glasses. I've been told by a lot of my friends that these kind of masculinize my face because it kind of squares out my brow, which is cool. So that's an added bonus for me. A lot of stores will have those, you know, glasses that aren't glasses, indie things, so, you know, if you want that, that's always cool. But often trying to pass is not so much changing your fashion, just retailoring it a little bit. Jack is just chilling. What else? I think that's all I need to talk about.
You mentioned wear your pants lower.
Yes, that's another thing. I used to do this a lot. If you wear your pants a little bit lower down, especially if you add a belt, it can help hide the effect of girly hips. I don't like doing that because it makes me uncomfortable. People can see my butt. I used to be okay with it, and somewhere along the line, I decided to stop flashing people. So you can wear your pants a little bit further down on your hips. Thank you for that tip, Jackie. And that can help hide rounded or feminine hips if you have them. But another thing I do, which also helps hide mine relatively well, is I tuck my shirt into my pants. Because that kind of hides the fact that I have a waist, because it, you know, if you tuck it in a little bit but get a little bit of bagginess left, I'll put a photo up, then it kind of squares out your shape. It also makes it a lot easier to hide a chest, so it makes me much more comfortable, and it looks kind of cool at the same time. Yeah, a lot of people have commented on things that I like to do fashion-wise, like the skinny jeans, or my Justin Bieber-esque haircut, please. I put Bieber shame. But I think the thing for me is that a lot of the time it's easier to look androgynous than it is to look male. I'm kind of a girly person, and I'm like this tall. So I'm not really going to pass as a big, bulky, manly guy. I'm just not. For me, it's better to kind of look androgynous, because at least that way people ask and you get to tell them. You're the one that's doing the deciding. I found a lot of the time that if you just shave all your hair off, for example, you can kind of look a bit dykey, which is okay for some guys, especially, you know, guys that maybe were part of the lesbian community. But then again, if you were part of the lesbian community, you might be wanting to kind of get away from that. And looking like a lesbian doesn't really help. It's also just fucking annoying because people misgender you constantly. I think that's it. Don't giggle like a girl.